we're at a crossroad. We must be tactful. What brought us to where we are today, brought us very down, was the coup of '66. Sir, it's like Manikwere, they may buy Shabia, because I were on record. Ndona Igbo na Rivers State constitute through 72% of the voting strength of Rivers State. But even if you have number, you don't have unity, that number will be useless. The Fulani in Ekwo Nigeria is a minority. In Nigeria, they're a minority. So how come that the minorities are ruling the majority? Our number, our strategy, our number the media. You need number, but you need clear strategy. And that strategy is what ADF and Ohanese and other bodies need to work out. When you deprive you political power, you pay dearly for it.
GGM, uniting the people for good governance. GGM, uniting the people for good governance.
Yeah, you're welcome back again. This is still BVI Channel 1 GGM Hour. We're very sorry about that break in transmission, and we're back live again on GGM Hour tonight. We're having our guest, Barrister Chief Uche Okwukwu, who had been speaking with us for a couple of times before we were thrown off by some technical problem, but we are back again, and I believe that it will flow smoothly as we continue in this conversation about Igbo Unity, Igbo Survival, and Igbo Emancipation in the contemporary Nigeria. We have been with the Barrister Uche Okwukwu. Sir, I believe you are still there and you can hear me this time. All right. That's part of the challenges we face, but we don't run away from it. We face it as long as we give the people a voice. That is the most important thing, so that the people will clearly get the message. Now, we are still on the issue of Igbo Unity. You spoke extensively about Igbo Unity and how it is important to Igbo survival. And you've highlighted very, very crucial aspect of it, talking about the political leadership of Igbo, totally disconnected from the aspiration of an average Igbo man, thereby sending everybody to himself and God for all of us. And just like you said, that there is no nation that have 100% unity, but to a large extent, if they have leadership, they will have an agenda where they are headed to. So with Igbo in the contemporary Nigeria, it is nothing to write home about when it comes to leadership. And you as a person coming from Ikwere, whom you have highlighted your position and your Igbo-ness and your readiness as well to bring Igbo people across or beyond the southeast as we have today, together to have a purpose, to have an agenda which will eventually bring them to their emancipation. Now, talking about the political leadership today, is it that the Ohanese and Igbo have been highly politicized, that individuals who are stooges to political class are the ones piloting the affairs of Igbo socio-culturally? Is that the gap where the intellectuals, where the stakeholders, where the elder statesmen have now become more political than taking their position as leaders of thought that would organize Igbo towards the emancipation? What exactly is the problem and how can we solve it?
Thank you very much. From an insight, the first task before Igbo is to be interested in the affairs, social affairs, political and economic affairs that it affects him and his people. Now let's take Ohanese as a case study. A lot of people are indifferent to the happenings in Ohanese. If you mention Ohanese to them, they say, "I don't mind them." But whether you agree or not, if there is a problem today in Igbo land and they want to consult, they will consult Ohanese Ndi Igbo to speak for Ndi Igbo, to act for Ndi Igbo. It behoves you and I to be interested in how Ohanese is managed. Having said that, it is only courage that drives vision. No matter how beautiful his vision is, no matter how authentic the agenda is, that cannot be driven without courage. Therefore, Ohanese Ndi Igbo need to be managed. It's not because the Ohanese leadership has some relationship with the political class. Indeed, and in fact, all organizations in and out of this country, ethnic, religious organizations, do have some measure of relationship with the political class. The political class you are talking about, the managers of the state, they do. But what is important is to ensure that that relationship does not affect how you manage the affairs of your own people. Does not hamper it. You must know when that relationship should not come in. I'll give you an example. I'm an Ikwere. In 2020, the year 2020, 4 years ago, Wike made a statement that the Ikweres are Benin. He was the governor then. And of course, you know what it means to disagree with a governor in this part of the world. If you disagree with a governor, not only are you in trouble, but the governors are seized with all the rights and privileges to manage the affairs of men, including their life. But I came out and I disagreed with him. I did a 5-page article in the Vanguard of December 5th, 2020. The title of the article was Wike, Why Deny Your Igbo Roots? Pages 1, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of the Vanguard. 5 pages. I made it abundantly clear that he was wrong and that the Ikweres were Igbos. And of course, I went further to state that those who are opposed, who are undermining Ndi Igbo, particularly purportedly asserting that Ikwere are not Igbos, should be very careful. Why do I say this? I have the facts, but I needed courage to drive the vision. I needed courage to put those facts on paper. Therefore, Ohanese must be managed, the affairs of Ndi Igbo must be managed by people who have not only the vision, but must have the courage. Hello, sir.
Of course.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear
They
me?
must have the courage. Yes, I'm hearing you clearly.
All right, go on.
They must have the courage. They must have the courage to drive it. I'll give you another example. And of course, you know what happened in 2019. That is 5 years ago in Ohanese. I was a lone voice, but I stood my Chief John Nyawodo came up with the idea of adopting Atiku as a candidate for Ndi Igbo for the 2019 election. I said it was wrong. It was wrong on 4 premises. One, There was no way under the sun Atiku could win Buhari. He is more popular than Atiku in the north. 2, Buhari is a Muslim, Atiku is a Muslim. Buhari is a Northerner, Atiku is a Northerner. Buhari is a Fulani, Atiku is a Fulani. The thought is that it was in the interest of Ndi Igbo to support the candidate whose tenure will end 4 years from that time, than to support another Northerner, a Fulani, and a Muslim whose tenure will run from 2019 to 2027. And I urge Ndi Igbo that if we must adopt a Northern candidate, adopt a candidate in the circumstances we find ourselves, we should adopt a man whose tenure was going to end in the next 4 years. And 2, we should negotiate power, because we need power to address the problems of our own people. Whether we agree or not, power is the most important element in advancing the cause of a people. Unfortunately, we would have adopted Atiku, and I disagreed. And of course, it led to problem in Ohanese, which most people did not understand. But fortunately for those of us, the bishops looked into the problem in Ohanese and recommended, among others, that I should be returned to office as the Deputy President General in black and white. I'm sure you've seen the report of the bishops. Why do I say this? Even if you have vision, you don't have courage, you cannot stand up to drive it. There's going to be election, that campaigns are going on. The Constitution made it abundantly clear that the next president of our nation should come from Rivers State on January 10, 2025. Some persons are saying no, jump Rivers State, keep it in Imo State, go to Abia. But they're not looking at the implication. The implication is that the unity of Ndi Igbo will suffer a huge setback. A huge setback. If eventually they succeed in tampering with the spirit and intent and letters of the Constitution, it will not be good for Ndi Igbo. But one man must develop some measure of strategy to demand things from the managers of the state and ensure they are done. I'm running for the office for the President General Hanez Ndibo on January 10, 2025. I must not for Ndibo. 1, there must be a constitutional amendment for constitutional amendment. The constitution of Hanez Ndibo will be amended under my term as President General. Why do I want a constitutional amendment? I'm going to Benue State next week to talk to Ndi Igbo in Benue, or Touchness Igbos in Benue. I'm going to go to a banquet to talk to them. And I'm going to be the first person that is articulating this agenda. I'm saying that Ndi Igbo in Benue, Kogi, Edo, Akwa Ibom, Cross River must be allowed to participate in Ohanese elections and come with delegates to vote. 2, we require them to pay their dues as members. Therefore, in line with the dictate of representative democracy, if a man pays tax, he must have a say.